Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Doc Anime Robin. In this video, I'll be unboxing and reviewing the Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class action figure of Constructicon Bonecrusher from the Transformers, the movie from the year 1986. Now let's check out the details from the case before we open the set. So as a Constructicon, Bonecrusher is the group that can combine with others to become a giant called Devastator. And as you see from the numbers here, Bonecrusher here is like the second one out of a group of the 6 Constructicons. And this figure is like the remake of the original Constructicon Bonecrusher from the Transformers, the movie from the year 1986. So this is the Bonecrusher remade from the G1 era with more screen accuracy, detail, and appearance. And on the side, we have a picture of Devastator, the combined form of the Constructicons. And on the back, we have like a picture from the original anime movie. This is like a battle scene where Constructicons became Devastator and are fighting the Dinobots. A little quick character bio for Bonecrusher here. And here we have the picture of, again, Bonecrusher in his robot mode and his vehicle mode here, like a front end loader. Looks like it takes 16 steps to transform between these forms. And now let's get it out of the case now. Here we have Bonecrusher on the card and like his accessories or weapons in this small pack here. And here's the instruction manual for the set. Before going further, please allow me to make a correction. I was wrong. I saw Bonecrusher's alternate mode or vehicle mode is a front end loader, but apparently it's actually a bulldozer. So a lot of these vehicles all look kind of similar. And now let's cut Bonecrusher loose from the card here. Okay. So now we have the figure loose here, and I guess in order to let it stand, we just have to press up, set up the feet like that. And here we have Bonecrusher. And now let's open up this pack as well. blaster here and some kind of cube component. And now let's check out the detail from the instruction menu here. So now the first section is telling us how to finish setting up the robot mode once we're free from the package here. So it looks like the cube is gonna go to Bonecrusher's back. And of course we just have to let it hold the blaster. That's it. Then here we have the transformation instruction. Finally, this completes the transformation to the bulldozer form. And in the end, you just apparently just have to put the blaster on it. Everything's complete. So now let's first set up the robot mode. And now to put the cube onto the back. So we have to pull down this part here. And pull it down like that. And then just fit the block or the cube in there. And there we go. So now it's like we got the backpack in the back. And finally, we just have to put the gun into Bonecrusher's hand. Next, just pull the structure down like that. Now we've finished setting up Bonecrusher's robot mode. Let's check out the articulation of Bonecrushers in robot mode. So he can look left and right, no problem. And looks like we can bend the head backwards just a little, but enough to mimic looking up, or you can also just bend the figure's upper torso a bit. You can still make it look like it's looking up. And apparently, this because the Bonecrusher's chest here, it's kind of slightly loose. So whenever you're moving Bonecrusher here, you want to be careful with the chest panel here. Its arms can rotate around the shoulder joint easily, and he can raise the arms laterally like that, as well as the legs. Very funny looking, right? Yeah, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of other flexibility, but you can still turn the arm around the elbow joint here. Anything here, so you can put down like the basic fighting pose at least, or like some kind of, or any kind of boxing move or punching stance. And his legs can only lift up to like 90-degree, and apparently you can pull it out to move around its lower leg, so you can still put on different kind of stance with its legs. So there's some articulation with its feet as well. So again, all these range of motion allows Bonecrusher to put on various kind of different stance. And its thigh can rotate inward, outward as well. So again, that helps with articulation and putting on different kind of adjusting the poses for Bonecrusher here. And again, with all these articulation, you can also put on all various kind of pose with a gun. Also, you can put on a pose like this. You can fold up one of its foot. So this way, it's like it can look like it's trying to take cover while also firing back at the same time. Although you kind of have to practice to find the right balance. These are the basic features of Bonecrusher in robot mode. Now let's transform it into his vehicle or bulldozer mode. Now, to begin the transformation, we'll start by changing the arms. So, see the opening here? You have to fit it into this hinge to lock it together. Do it to the other arm as well. Then pull up the whole upper body up, open it up like that, and put the head down here. Do a little twist on the arm section again. Then again another hinge to fit in here. Then click them together. This, and then fit this one into this opening here. And then pull this section up and put this gray part down here. This part can be kind of tricky because you have to lock these into this gray part. You find the hinges and their openings here. It's hard to balance them as you try to lock them together. There we go. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, good. Got it. Everything's all clicked together. And finally, the front part of the bulldozer. First, you pull the whole bucket down like this, and then you have to twist this part. See this hinge here? It has to fit in this opening here. Okay, there we go. Bonecrusher in his bulldozer form. Finally, you can attach the blaster to one of the holes up here. Now the vehicle mode is complete. So it is a very nice vehicle mode. In fact, I would say Bonecrusher is one of few Transformer figure that looks far better in the alternate or vehicle mode than he does in his robot mode. And unfortunately, in this form, this figure is probably only good for, well, looking good because there's no wheels underneath, so this figure doesn't have any mobility at all, and the only thing it can kind of do is basically this bucket being able to move. So you can still essentially use it to like try to portray doing some construction work, just lifting up and down, and it's nice that it shows the Decepticon symbols these ways. And this is like the full extent of what this figure can do in this vehicle mode. So that's pretty much all the basic feature for this figure in both its robot mode and its vehicle mode. And this one thing that the instruction manual doesn't show, and I like to show everybody, that unfortunately, while it appears unlike most Transformer figures in robot mode now, usually one Transformer should be able to somehow carry the weapons in both robot and vehicle mode. Somehow, like in robot mode, if you don't want the figure to hold the weapon, you should be able to like carry it on the back or shoulders somehow, and the instruction manual doesn't include that feature for this figure. However, you can still like see the on the back in the cube here, there's a hole. You can still just put the gun on there. So this is how you can have Bonecrusher carry his blaster when you don't want to keep it in its hand. So overall, it is a interesting Transformer figure. However, the problem if you get this one, like all combiner group, it's probably only really good if you collect the rest of its group. In this case, the other Constructicon, that will be remade from the G1 era in the Studio series. Because this figure by itself, it only pretty much looks its best or only look good if in vehicle mode. So like you probably would always feel tempted to transform it to the bulldozer form, and as you can see in the robot mode, it looks like kind of not so in proportion because his arms are kind of small and kind of flat in some way. So again, like pretty much any figure created for combiner, it's like they're designed to appear best when he combines with other Constructicons to become Devastators. So by itself, it looks a bit strange. So if anyone wants to only collect some Constructicon, so this is probably not the only one, not the one you want to buy only by itself, but at least it still has a good feature in this remake form because again it's still capable of a lot of articulation, which allows you to put on the various kind of poses which I showed earlier. So that's still something. So if you're looking for a Transformer figure that's good by itself as a collection or as a gift to someone, this is probably not something you want to consider, because again, it's not much good by itself. However, if you're a fan of the Constructicons and their combiner form Devastator from the G1 era, and if you miss the chance of acquiring the original action figures, this remade as well as the rest of the Constructicons being made into this series present you with the opportunity to get them in the better version as well, for that matter. This concludes my review for this set. Thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click like and subscribe to my channel. And please check below in the description section. You will find the link to other videos reviewing other Constructicon figures from the Transformer, the movie that's also belong to the Transformer Studio series. And if you have any question, please leave them in the comment section. I will answer with the best of my knowledge and ability.